Welcome everyone to the 2020 APAZ Groundbreakers virtual tour, but by Apex OUZ. This year, our event would be the biggest one ever, done with 170 sessions, including normal sessions, workshops, and hands-on labs from 123 different speakers over 11 days. Also, it would cover sessions on 4 different languages, and please remember to register to as many sessions you can, and all sessions would be available to replay as many times you want for 2 weeks after the initial session date and time. You can also interact with speaker at any time during that 2 weeks by posting questions or comments directly in the playback session page. But first things first, I would like to say thanks to all Oracle user groups and Java user groups that made this event possible, and also to our sponsors, Oracle Groundbreakers and CloudDB. Now for today's session, Low Code, Lowdown, Apex versus Visual Builder, which is for you, by Cannell. Please feel free to write questions at any time during the session at the Q&A tab of the Zoom webinar, and the speaker would be answering them at the end of the session. If any issues during the presentation, please feel free to contact me anytime on the chat tab of the Zoom webinar. Now, without any more delays, I would like to leave you with this amazing session by Karen.
Thank you very much. There's a few people here. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to shrink down my little Zoom thing so it's not in my way. Welcome, everybody. I have a lot of fun doing this session. I'm real excited about all the user groups involved in this conference. It's a great effort. It takes a lot of work to put these things together. And support your user groups. That is the best way to keep us connected and keep learning. So I get a lot to cover here. Apex, it is Apex. If there's always a pronunciation thing. Application Express versus Visual Builder, and this is a low code, Lowdown. I am, come on, go slides. Just waiting for my slides to click. There we go. I am Karen Cannell. TH Technology is my company. I'm very fortunate to be a consultant in these days, and most of my clients right now are doing Application Express. I'm trying to nudge them into Visual Builder because I'm having a lot of fun with that tool. I'm actually a mechanical engineer that got sideways into, well, anything you do nowadays is software, but way back then when I came out of school, I got right into IT, swore I was never going to do that, but here I am. I work for government, medical, whatever. I said get involved in your user group. I'm very involved in OD Tug. I'm vice president right now. Elections are now. If you're a member, vote. If you're not a member, join. Join your local user groups. ACE director, all that stuff. I've written some books. Most important for right now, there's a little dot in here. There it is. That's me swimming. That's what I do to stay sane in these times where we have restrictions and masks, and everyone's working from home, and you're helping your kids at home, or maybe your husband too, and things get crazy. Find your happy place. Do your thing that makes you happy, and do whatever you need to do to stay safe, stay vigilant, flatten the curve. We'll get through this. I want to get back to get to Melbourne again, and to be able to swim in Melbourne, get outside the city a little bit. Here's where I would love to ask about you. Are you Apex people, JavaScript people, Java people, Jet developers? Why are you here? So I'm going to assume we have a mix. And why? Why did I venture into learning Visual Builder at all if I'm traditionally an Apex person and my clients like Apex? Well, I was actually at one of the APEC conferences in Melbourne, was it 2 or 3 years ago? And there was a man from the Visual Builder Oracle product team, And I kept asking him all these questions when Visual Builder came out, like, why would you use Visual Builder instead of Apex? When would you use one over the other? Which is good, and for what purpose? And why does Oracle have two? And he said, that's a good session. And so voila, here we are. But I got to tell you, I'm having a lot of fun with Visual Builder. Um, why two low code platforms? What is Oracle doing? They actually have more than two. They have the process builder and chatbots. But the low code difference, low code, it used to be rapid application development. Now we're in low code. And I'll let you guys, read. These are oracle.com application development low code. These are the slides. Low code difference, data driven application. So this is how Apex is being positioned. And I'm just scrolling down the low code webpage. Data driven applications, 20 times faster, 100 times less code. And on all these pages, there's links about how to learn more. The help and everything is out there, every place you turn, for all of these low code applications, not just Oracle's, but other people's. Build extensions for cloud applications. Now we're looking at the Visual Builder section, learn more about Visual Builder. Here we're positioned as extensions for cloud applications. But it does say web apps, on-device mobile. You'll learn later that on-device mobile is a real key thing. I think is a key advantage for Visual Builder. The other two we're not going to talk about that Oracle has right now: the digital assistant, which is your chatbots, and the process automation, and that's out there. When we focus in on Visual Builder and now Visual Builder Studio, and particularly the latest release of Visual Builder Studio, they're really focusing on cloud application extensions, team collaboration, continuous integration, continuous deployment, integrating that full life cycle, all that stuff we have to do outside of our application. Visual Builder Studio is integrating that right in your build process if you're building with Visual Builder. So I'm not going to focus on Visual Builder Studio in this talk because we only have 45 minutes, but Visual Builder Studio is the avenue into Visual Builder now, the recommended avenue, and it does all those extensions and configuration, issue tracking, and really, really neat stuff that they have done in the last release of Visual Builder Studio. I don't think I mentioned it used to be called Developer Cloud Service. It is now called Visual Builder Studio, and when you dive in there, you'll understand why. So we're going to talk about Apex and Visual Builder, or VB. I did just mention Visual Builder Studio. Basically, it's a big wrapper that gives you that full life cycle stuff all around your Visual Builder instance. And I'm doing a talk tomorrow about Visual Builder Studio and how you can build with Visual Builder, build visual applications using Visual Builder Studio, and how it makes your life easier. So we'll just know that it does for tonight. Just trust me, and I'll talk more about that tomorrow. The positioning I just showed you, Apex, 20 times faster, 100 times less code. And if you know Joel Kalman, and the Apex community is a really tight community. The product managers, we talk to them all the time. We see them at conferences. We see them on Zoom now, name to name basis. They like being out there talking to the developers, and they follow closely our requests, and they're delivering some really neat stuff. Data driven web and mobile apps. Now they say mobile apps, but it's citizen and professional developers. There's another buzz term, I think, and a whole nother session on what's a citizen developer versus a professional developer and who does what. Apex, leverage the power of SQL, leverage the power of the database. Visual Builder, we've got a service catalog, multiple data sources. Apex, everything is in one schema. Data from any REST-enabled source. That kind of opens it up a lot. And visual design tool, what you see is what you get. Notice Apex does say mobile, where Visual Builder gives you easier, more declaratively, the progressive web app and on-device mobile apps, where Apex, you can do mobile, but it's a responsive web app, not exactly a true native. So Apex, 20 times faster, 100 times less code. Let's see what's new. These are just the screens right off the website. Low code development platform, scalable, secure enterprise apps. Of course, it's scalable and secure. It's built on the Oracle database. So let's build one. Enough talk. I got to watch my time, and let's get these apps in here. So I'm going to go, this is my always free cloud service. That's a topic for another talk, but since they came out with the always free cloud service, a lot of us Apex developers said, hey, that's a nice, easy way for me to do my presentations and put them all in one place. There's a limited amount of gig you get here. You have to remember your long password while you're talking in a presentation. I think I did that. So I've just logged into Apex in my always free. So this is not costing me anything. It was very easy to spin up. All I had to do was sign up for my always free cloud service. If I didn't want to go through that bother, I could go to apex.oracle.com, sign up for a workspace, and do whatever I want to do there. Suggested you don't use apexoracle.com for production, but I can learn all I want there for free. So 2 free ways to start out on Apex. What I want to do here is I'm in the, this is my kind of dashboard, and I have the app builder. I have SQL Workshop, which has a bunch of things. Team development, you can kind of see labels, milestones, templates, utilities, and application gallery. We'll look at that in a sec. I want to go right into the app builder, and I want to create an app. I could import. I have a dashboard that tells me what's going on. We're not going to look at all that. We just want to create a quick app from a file. So a new application from scratch, from a file, or I'm going to point this out. These productivity apps are pre-installed working Apex applications that I, as a developer, can install and play with and learn from all I want. We're not going to do that, but I encourage you to go in. And when you get a free workspace, any Apex installation gets all these productivity apps. We're going to create something from a file, and it says drag and drop. So I've got not that one, this one. I've got a file that happens to have a list of countries and their flags and some information. So I'm just going to give it a table name because that's what it asked for. I'll stick with an identity column. I'm not going to preview just out of time. I'm just going to say load data. Just give me my data. Yep, 250 rows. Now see this little thing down the bottom, create application. Okay, I want an application. This is low code. What are you going to give me? Okay, it looks like it's going to give me, I'm going to just capitalize this and make the name better. I'm going to take the defaults here. It says it's going to give me a home, a dashboard, a search page, and a report. Let's scroll down a little. It looks like there's more stuff here. All right, let's just check it all. I want an about page, some configuration options, access control, a feedback page, theme style. I'm not sure what all it is, but give it to me. And I'm going to say create application. So Apex is going out there. It's looking at my table that I just uploaded, analyzing that data, and it's already figured out there's enough stuff there to build a dashboard and a faceted search page. But so what do I got? Now I have, how many pages here? I get a bazillion pages, but look, most of these are administration. Remember I checked all those options? These are all administrative pages. I have a global page. Let's just run this thing and see what we got. I know because I've read the directions, read the manual, that by default it uses an Apex user authentication. So I can sign in. Look, it even picked a little icon for me. And I have a dashboard. I have 3 main things. I have a working menu. It gave me a default theme. I have a little feedback button. I have a help page and I have a logout. So it built all that for me. So let's look at my dashboard. It built some charts for me. Now, region, it looks like it's giving me maybe population by region or countries. Yeah, one in Antarctica, Oceania, a bunch of little ones. And it looks like sub-region, countries by sub-region. But these other two, it's not right. It guessed, but it's a no value. So whatever. It did okay. I would have to redo these or delete them. Search page. What do we have? This is what's called and this is all part of my. It's built in. You saw how much code I wrote for this. This is a faceted search, so I can pick, and as I click here, it's going to filter. And if I want really tiny countries in the Caribbean, it'll filter yet again. And it's for the flag, it's given me just the URL, which was my data point, but and then it's built in edit page for me as well. Apply changes, which I didn't have any, but it's pretty smart there. Now, let's go back. My other page, I just got a report. This is an interactive report. I can search for, I don't know, there's Monaco. Let's do, I don't know, EURO. It should find anything with Europe in it. And sure enough, everything that has a Europe in the column. This interactive report has all these other features where I can sort, aggregate, compute, chart if I want to, pivot. I'm not going to take all the time, but it built that for me. And again, I have the same edit page. Just to give you an idea, a little bit behind the scenes, I happen to know, because I'm an Apex developer, that if I go into my flag and do things, I want that centered, that centered. I really want to see the flag. Then I know in this HTML source equals, I know in this HTML expression, I know I can use the substitute, the pound column name expression, and let's say 60px quote. I need a quote. Px. Now, out of the box, a citizen developer may not know how to do this, but I just wanted to show you that it is possible. I'm looking for my save button. To save everything I do, I need to save and then rerun my page. It is possible to do these things. And so now I have flags there, which are nice. Now, if I wanted to, I could do the same thing on the other page, but you get the idea. I got a lot of stuff by just drag and drop that if I wanted to change my theme, it's done. It's built in there. I don't particularly like that theme, but if I wanted to put that out there, it's there. Configuration options, activity reports, top users, there's going to be one. Built a lot of stuff for me. So is it all useful in this administrative stuff? I don't know. But so that's enough for Apex. There's one other thing I want to show you in terms of what if I didn't have a handy little Excel spreadsheet that had all my data. Well, there's other ways of loading data. I can even load from a cloud object store, which is a new option that we have. But say, what if I didn't have that kind of stuff? I want to go to this Quick SQL, and if anyone hasn't learned about Quick SQL, it's really a cool thing. So I can simply start typing here, and I'm creating a table. I'm going to VC50 for name, and then stuff has an email. varchar 80, and maybe I want it to have an ID, and I think I have to say num, but you get the idea. As I type over here, it's building the table and triggers and constraints and things over here. I have samples. If I wanted to load the department's employees, the slash insert will give me 4. If I want more, I can say 5 or 6. And what it's going to do way down the bottom is it's going to do a whole bunch of inserts. So an easy way to generate tables and data. And then once I review and run this, it's going to go out and it's going to, again, give me that option to run an application. To create an application, and I'm not going to create it right here. I have one, this is just in the interest of time. In this case, it built an application on my 2 tables. And I have to log in again because it's a separate application. And again, I wasn't talking and typing properly. There we go. In this case, I didn't have numbers, so it didn't give me the dashboard. It just gave me, the reports and the edits on my generated data. I never entered any data here. It's generated, and whatever administrative stuff I asked for. Apparently, I didn't ask for much here, but you get the idea. Real simple way to generate a lot of stuff. So that's Apex. Now from here on, I got to learn some Apex and build some more stuff. And maybe I want to do the flag thing here and move things around. But right out of the box, without typing any code, I got some neat stuff. So let's go. I showed you this, showed you the quick SQL. Let's look at Visual Builder. Yep, and we're right on time. Visual Builder. Cloud application ready, powerful application building, multiple sources of data. Caesars is run on Visual Builder. I don't know. Caesars is a big casino chain in the US. I don't know if it is in Melbourne as well. Use cases, customize or extend. This is that positioning. Note the pricing here. OCPU per hour. When your instance is on, it's running. I need to point out this is about half what it was, I think 2 versions ago, and I'll show you a little bit about more. So let's get into Visual Builder and see how this goes. So I first get into my cloud and I give it, let's do this, cloud.oracle.com. You think I could type this one? Yes. Let's go there. And we're all familiar with the Redwood theme now. This is my tenancy. I'm going to log in. And I'm showing you this because my Apex instance was easier to get into, for one. And then I also want to show you that it's not as easy to find the Visual Builder stuff that you need to find. So I'm looking for Visual Builder. It's showing me all kinds of stuff that has nothing to do with Visual Builder. None of this stuff up here. You really got to know what you're looking for and come in here and find it. And I'm looking way down here. Nothing Visual Builder. Nothing Visual Builder. Now, by the time I get here, I'm looking data flow. Wait a minute. Is there a developer? Anything? No, that's the Kubernetes. That's the microservices, guys. No. Well, where it is, I'll save you a little time. Platform services, Visual Builder. Got it. Yeah, phew. Okay, now what do we got? Well, you come in here and then you have to create an instance, which I have done. Then I have to open that instance and get to my Visual Builder homepage. Now I can start building things. These are my visual applications that I have. But remember, I told you that the preferred way of going into Visual Builder is now through Visual Builder Studio. So I'm going to show you things through Visual Builder Studio. And one more quick thing about this lovely menu is you can look forever and you are never going to find Visual Builder Studio because it's under Developer. Now this used to say Developer Cloud Service. This is now Visual Builder Studio. So if you're looking for Visual Builder Studio and you get nothing out of this entire presentation, it's under Developer. And that'll save you some time. So now we're going to open my Visual Builder Service instance. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to talk about Visual Builder Studio more tomorrow. But for today, this is my Visual Builder Studio environment. I have 2 projects. Whenever you build a project, it builds all kinds of stuff behind the scenes for you so that your Git repository and your issues and your merge template and your build VMs are all encompassed in that one project for you. In this case, I'm going to go into my demo project, like I said, and I'm going to go into my demo workspace. Now, a workspace, you can have multiple workspaces within a project. The workspace is my playground. It's kind of like a schema assigned to me. It's got my code, my repository, my branch, and I can do whatever I want there. When I'm ready, I can then push it up to the main branch, the master branch, and I can push it out to publish it or deploy it. When I say go, it'll then go to my Visual Builder instance. So I basically what this is giving me once I open this workspace, and I should have, and it tells you what it's doing. It does a bunch of stuff. It does take a few minutes to get in here, and I'm hoping it goes in very quickly. While it's preparing that workspace, notice that I have that one environment, and it had my Git repositories associated with each workspace. So here I am. I'm ready to build a visual application. This theme is new with the latest release of Visual Builder. You get this Redwood theme right now only in Visual Builder Studio. That will change very shortly as they upgrade the Visual Builder instances. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure if I create my Visual Builder a new instance right now, I might get the Redwood theme. Don't quote me on that. I'm not going to do anything right now except point out tells you connect to data, create apps, business objects, web apps. See all this wording here where it says learn and it has all these links and it has a little video and it has help. Read all that stuff. There's help everywhere. The same sort of thing within Application Express. But let's go fast because I want to build something. We have the concept of mobile applications, web applications. Obviously, can you build one that's both? No. In Visual Builder, they are 2 separate beasts, except for the case of Progressive Web App. A service connection is a REST endpoint. I can create those in several different ways. A business object is analogous to a table. I've created a few department. It has fields, and I created this by dragging and dropping a spreadsheet in that had department, employee, and location data. And I actually was able to drag things in and say, hey, look, location references the location table, the name column, and I was able to even build this little diagram in here that shows that I do indeed have references between my business objects. If I were to add things to that, you'll see that things is not there, is not joined at all. Notice that there's separate column types, field types for email and phone, for date, character, number, for reference. Real handy things for building business objects. I can use this data manager to drag and drop or import or export data. There's a plugin for Excel, so I can load my Excel data directly to my Visual Builder business objects. I did the drag and drop this way. What I want to do is show you to create a REST endpoint. And this is where, if you have Fusion apps, cloud applications, you can select from a catalog and they're going to show up in one of these two areas. I don't have any, so I'm not going to show you that. You can define by a specification, by a Swagger doc. So if you have ORDS data in your Oracle database and you have a Swagger doc, reference just like this. This is again out of my always free database. And I point that there, no authentication, and just say create. It's going to go out and it's going to create. And now I have two of these because I had done that before, but it created the endpoints based on the Swagger doc definition. The other option you have here is defined by endpoint. And for that, I'm going to use this little guy and just show you how easy. Now this could be any REST endpoint. I'm happen to be using this REST countries that you'll see Shay Smeltzer demo with a lot. It's kind of like the equivalent of departments and employees. It's a get many. I say next. And Visual Builder recognizes the service name, and I'm going to leave it the default. It's a server. It's a get operation. It's a simple get all. I'm going to do a test here. It's going to go out and I'm going to save that as my example. I'm going to create, and I have a new REST endpoint out there. Pretty cool. I'm going to just define one other, and this would be alpha/code. And in this case, it's a get one. And so what you would do, you would go through, and if you didn't have a Swagger doc, you would go through, and we've got that one parameter code. You would go through and say, I need to give it a parameter to test it. Send, it gives me Albania. I'll save that and as an example. So I've got data to work with now. That's what my business objects are, actually data stored in my Visual Builder database. These REST endpoints, the data is totally outside of an Oracle database. It's, well, unless the REST, it's served from an Oracle database. But my REST data is totally outside, external to Visual Builder instance. So let's build something. And I'm going to show you a mobile app. And I'm just going to show, now, right now, before I do anything else, we're already way behind from the Apex gang, right? No way. I've had to type. I've done way more than drag and drop. And I think this first character from experience. I have a few templates there. So as you can imagine here, I got a little bit of building, but hang on, I just want to build this first page for you. I get some page templates. I'm going to start with the list. Let's create. So now I'm in like the real Visual Builder environment. It's giving me a phone. If I don't like this phone, I can change it to a different kind. By default, it uses the iPhone. In this list template, this list view, let's click on the list view here. Now I've got parameters and stuff to play with. Always look for the quick start. That tells you what you need to do first. I need to add data. I'm going to go out and I'm going to use my countries that I had built before, only because when I do demos, I often will do some silly little mistake, and I know this one works. So here's where my drag and drop comes in. A flag, I want that showed as an image. And then I want name, native name. No, I want native name down there. Give me area, give me population. So I've filled in my template here. It's asking me for primary key, which I know is the alpha 2 code. It won't give me the next button until everything's done. If I needed to add filters or order bys, I would add that here. I'm not adding any. So now I have an app. I have a page, and if I go to, I'm in design view, I have code. Look, I have code. I can edit this code, just where it says page title. I can say APAC. If I want to, I can do something like drag this image into my code. It may not put it where I want it. Oh, it did. It went, no, list view. Yeah, I wanted it at the bottom of the list view. So now I got to type some stuff. So here are my data. I need that source URL for the image. Never type during a presentation. So I'm gonna just put the URL there. You get the idea. I've already had more stuff to do. If I want to add an event, let's add a click. And I'm going to scroll down here because there's one that I know I can do, open URL. And so now I have to give it a URL to go to, and you can imagine where I will go. I'm going to steal this link. And so now I have a page that will open. I don't think one more thing. So already I've had to do a lot of stuff, right? So we're kind of behind in terms of where Oracle is, I mean, where Apex is. But it changed my country, and it's I have an image that's probably way too big down the bottom. I would have to go in and edit that. The next thing that I would do in here is I would go to my list view. I would get back to here. Oh, I'm in live. I have to go back to design, go back to my list view, get to my list view. I was in my page, list item, list view. The next thing that it would want me to do in the quick start would be to add a detail page, which I could then, it knows which endpoints work, and I could keep going along this way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump out right now and show you this app, which I have completed already. And what happens when I get to my live app, and I added a page. When I added that detail page, and when I click, it just brings me to the detail page, and I just added a little flip card that just flips from the URL to the flag. This took me probably 10, maybe 15 minutes. It was very, very quick. But what I want to show you now that I have it here in my designer, and I have it the way I want it, I go back to my application, and I'm going to go look at these settings. And here I have application settings that tell me about my app, the vendor for however, we want to add these things in here. I loaded in Android resources, iOS resources. I said, hey, do iPad. Then I had to build a build configuration. Now I only built one for Android because I don't have an iPhone. These are very, very simple. It just walks you through the iOS build. I would drag the iOS data here. I would need the provisioning profile and my certificate password, which I don't have, but you get the idea. If I had any plugins, I'd load those in for a progressive web app. I dragged in some resources. The main thing is to enable it, I just did this little switch right here and that enables my progressive web app. And this will come right back up in a second. I don't know if it's going to remember, if it's going to ask me to do all this stuff again. Oh, it remembered. That's great. But I would drag in my PWA branding and my practice store. So what's really cool here, um, security, I'm going to say anonymous because my REST endpoint is totally outside. Now I can say, okay, let's share or preview. And it's going to open a workspace. And now I'm going to have my application. This is where it can, if you wanted to download the app for Android, you could click on this barcode, and this barcode is in your slides. Or if you wanted to do the progressive web app, you could do the same barcode and get the PWA that way. And again, that's in your slides. So I just noticed what time it is on my phone. You don't have the equivalent of quick SQL. And I'm going to whiz through a bunch of these slides because it's all in your slides. And this is what I built, an app from external REST. There's your demo app. This is that same barcode. And is what I showed you realistic for real apps in the world? Not really, because real life is more complicated. And this is where this comparison, where Apex has it for the generation and the faceted search and the interactive grid and interactive report that I showed you. But Visual Builder, if you're beyond citizen developer, that drag and drop and the ability to drag into the code, anything that's Oracle Jet and web components, it's all over it. So PL SQL database versus Oracle Jet. Positioning, we went over. Getting started, I showed you the differences there. These are all the different ways to get into things. Do put your blinders on when you go into Visual Builder and Visual Builder Studio, because that 30 days goes really, really quick. Read the help on your pages for both applications. Oracle is doing an excellent job at making things easy for us to learn. Just this release, they came out with the Visual Builder Cookbook. This cookbook app, what a gem. It's the equivalent of the sample apps in Apex. You've seen all this. This is the cookbook app. I talked about this. Use the quick starts, use the documentation. For help, apex.world in the Apex community. And for Visual Builder, the VB community, very, very busy community. They're very great at helping and getting back to you really quickly. Use the learning library. There's a ton of great stuff out there for both applications. Build environments. I showed you both of those. Oh, gotta use Chrome for Visual Builder. This is still a restriction for Visual Builder Studio. You can use other things. For Visual Builder, you need to use Chrome. And look and feel, you got the deployment. You can take a Visual Builder app and deploy it in Apache Tomcat, for example, if you don't have specific business objects that you need the Visual Builder instance. Lifecycle, Visual Builder's kind of got the edge with Visual Builder Studio, particularly this latest release. Apex has team development, but it's not the same degree of CI/CD. Planning. Apex is your traditional relational data model. Visual Builder, you got to think differently because your data is all REST endpoints, and that's about all I'll say for that now. I told you about the CPU. Be careful, because if you leave that instance on, it keeps clicking. And that's just my billing. You can look at the slides for that. I found that out the hard way with a very big bill. So there's your cost differences, SQL versus REST endpoints and business objects. If you want to build true mobile, you're in Visual Builder. If you're a JavaScript person and it's Oracle Jet flavor JavaScript, you're in Visual Builder. I'm going to let you guys read through all of these. Maybe Apex is a little more mature. Visual Builder is catching up fast. Apex is free with your database. Visual Builder, there's that OCPU by hour. more points. I think the progressive web app and the true mobile Visual Builder has a real clear advantage. But boy, the authentication, authorization, the ability to generate stuff quickly in Apex is still there. So again, you know, what matters? What matters? This is my take, and I'm an Apex perspective. If you're building Oracle Fusion app extensions, things are so integrated, so built in there. Use Visual Builder, they're built in Visual Builder. It's just a quick way to go. That said, if your team is 100% SQL, PL SQL, use Apex. If your team is JavaScript, use Visual Builder. There's no hard and fast rule. And that's it. So comments, questions. I went a few minutes over. I'm so sorry. We started, I think, a few minutes late, but I threw a lot of information at you. And, you know, which one's better? I think they're both awesome tools. They both have their purpose in life. What I really want to see happen, and I would love to get on a project that does this, is build the desktop stuff in Apex, REST enable all your objects, build the mobile stuff in Visual Builder, use a common theme, and that Redwood theme is coming for both applications. The possibilities are endless. You know, that way you can leverage your JavaScript people. You got the true native stuff in a faster, easier way than it is to build them in Apex. And tons of fun, tons of fun. I'm a geeky developer. I think both of these are a lot of fun. And I think both teams are doing an awesome job in these tools. So dive in, have fun, use the videos, use the tools. There's resources at the end of the slides. Both of these tools are as secure as you build them. They are scalable. But if you as a developer, if I as a developer build something dumb, I built a dumb app. Does that mean the tool is dumb? No. My due diligence as a developer is to learn the tool and learn how to build things properly. And both these tools make it easier for me to do things the better way. So with that, I don't see any questions in here. There's all kinds of resources at the end. But I hope you guys have a great day. And if you need any, if you have any questions for me at any time, you're always welcome to email me or direct message me. And because I love to help, it's what I do. And I love both of these tools. And have fun, enjoy the rest of this conference. And if you're interested in Visual Builder Studio, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye now.
Thank you, Karen, for such an informative talk. And yes, as I said a while ago, the video is going to be up in Groundbreaker's website. And of course, if you have any other questions, you can always contact Karen. And yes, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye. I'm going to stop.